year, and it's a good time to clean out some of the junk that's accumulating around the shop, around the house, anywhere in your life. I was looking around the house the other day, putting away Christmas stuff, and I stumbled across this cache of old computers. If you're like me and you got into this computer stuff when you were, I don't know, probably in my mid-20s, I don't know what year I actually started buying a computer. I would say probably around 94, somewhere around there. You're going to have, or you could have, a bunch of this stuff sitting around. The difficulty is we can't just dump this. You know, there used to be that places would take this stuff, like the dump had a special place you could put all your electronics. They quit doing that, and then, you know, people get apprehensive. They're like, well, wait a minute, I have a hard drive, I've got, you know, important data that could still be on these computers, and so by default we tend to just hide them in a corner somewhere, and maybe they'll go away one day. I don't know. We're guilty of that at our house. And so I was looking around and I decided it's time to get rid of this stuff. So I know from my experience with other electronics, like batteries, you know, old batteries, and I'll point this out, take your old batteries to Staples. And I'm sure there's other places that do it, like Home Depot and I think Lowe's have stuff for like the tool batteries that are bad. They'll take those back. But if you've got lithium batteries, you know, from computer equipment or just different things, take them to Staples, they'll take them back. With that said, this stuff is going to go to Staples. At least I hope they take all of it. But before it goes, I'm going to take out the hard drives from each of these old computers. Now the first computer is from, oh, I'm sorry, the first one, the behemoth over here, is from 1995, I believe. The next one is 2001 and then 2006. There's probably another one floating around somewhere. It may still be in use, I don't know. But regardless, these need to go. I'm tired of this stuff sitting around collecting dust. So I'm going to go through the steps of taking out the hard drives from each of these three computers, and I'll give you some detail on that, and then they're going to go away, so stay tuned. Alright, this is a HP Pavilion, Windows 95, what's it say, Pentium 2. Look, it's got the little, what do you call them, floppy disk? Not a floppy disk, but the, you know, the 3.5 inch or 3 inch card we used to put in, you know, the little, really? Why is this still in my house? Of course, it's got the DVD. You know, that's about it. So this one needs to go. It's been here way too long. So to do that, at least from what I can see, I need to pull out some screws. Looks like there's two big screws, or two screws holding the cover on. So let's see what happens if I pull out those screws. One. Two. I'm hoping that's it. There you go. Just, you saw how I was really gentle with that, you know, because they don't make these anymore. So pull that cover off. Now, what else is there? There's got to be an easy way to access this stuff, wouldn't you think? Oh, you know what? There's another screw right there. Let's see what happens. Oh, can't get to it with the drill. Good with that one. That one's out. Aha! Got that cover off. When all else fails, just keep pulling screws out of things. Aha! Now then. Oh yeah, look at all that. What a thing of beauty in there. Now to get the hard drive out. And let's see. I have a little surprise here. I've already removed this one. Apparently I did it years ago and I forgot about it, because if you look inside here, see if I can point this out. You've got multiple connectors here that share a color code. There's red, black, and yellow, red, black, and yellow, red, black, and yellow. So those all tie into something. So these are numbered P2, P4, this is P3. Down here, which is, we'll call it the floppy drive, I don't remember the terminology, but this bottom one here, the little disc, you know, that's P5. And up here, I'm going to assume, let me take a look, I can see it. And that's P7, and that's for the DVD or CD drive. I must have taken this out years ago, you know, thinking that, hey, just in case something happens, I can get rid of this, or, you know, don't need to have it in here. Because these connectors would have went to one of those, you know, one of these would have went to the hard drive, which would have been right here. And then this strip, this data cable, however you want to label it, would have connected into the hard drive here at the back. So it has these real wide, so let's pull that one out, real wide clip, and this all would have been shared with each component. So I've already pulled this one out, I didn't realize it, but hey, I'll move on to the next one. 2001, HP Windows XP. As you can see, this one, I forget what it had on it. DVD writer, CD writer. I think this was, I don't know if that did anything, I don't remember. And you had different plug-ins here, micro SD, USB cable, secondary USBs, you know, a bunch of different things, exterior headphones, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, it's outdated. It's whatever. So this one appears to be a little bit different, maybe not as complex. It's got a screw here on the side. Just pull on the cover. That slips right off. Aha. Now this one does have the hard drive, which is right here. I know I was scratching my head on the other one. I thought surely it didn't go somewhere else, it'd be some odd place, but this is definitely it here. And I noticed, I did a little research, and it talked about there was two different models of these, of the hard drive. I don't remember the terms, but I remember the newer one had this red cable, and the older one had that big wide clip that I showed you. So in this case, let's see if this has some sort of release mechanism to get this out. You would think it would. I'll slide that way. Well, let's pull the cable first. There's the red cable. Some sort of, that's the power cable. And that's it. So let me see. It wants to go forward, but I guess I need to pull off the face because it's not going to come out this way. So let's see what that takes. Oh, it's got some release clips. Push tabs on the face here. There you go. Pulled right off. Had these little clips. That was simple enough. So it looks like the other side just kind of cams in to a slot. You know, go into a slot and then this would lock. So that was easy enough. Now, let's see what else we got in the way. It's kind of protected by this plastic cover here that's covering all these ports. So it looks like, maybe if I take this screw out right here, okay, that'll release that. And now I can grab the hard drive, hopefully, and pull it out. So there we go. This is a Seagate and Barracuda 7200, 200 gigabytes. 200 gigabytes. Feel the power. Yep. Huh. Well, that wasn't too bad. So now I'll just piece this back together. This little cover deal, it kind of has a another cam in type of tab. Get that in place. I don't know where the screw went. I'm not too worried about it. Found it. Take this, hook it back in, and that'll snap back on. Yep, I don't think there's anything worth hanging on to. Slip this back on and rethread this retainer back in. And that's more or less just a thumb screw type of thing. So that's kind of handy. 2 down. 2006 model. Windows Vista. Let's see if it has a similar function. Oh, it does. It has a thumb screw on this side. Take that loose. Just slide that back. And out it comes. Now this one will be a little easier by the looks of it. Look at that. It's got a big heat sink. High tech. This one right here's the hard drive. It's on the what would be the front end of the computer, and it has a secondary port above it. So it's got a P4 wire and a P5, which would have plugged into another hard drive to share data. And I'm sure that's the power. No, that's the data cable. And that's the power. And so, you see what the release function is here. Got to be something. There it is. It's a little thumb tab. It's like a little piece of green metal. Way back in there. And you can lift it with your finger or a screwdriver. Comes right out. Let's see what this says. This one, Barracuda 7200, 500 gigabytes. Yep, I'm sure I have a lot of information on there that needs to be destroyed. That'll be the next part. Alright, so these have kind of a 6-pointed looking screw on them, and I don't have anything that'll fit that. Thought I might, but you know, I really don't care because it needs to be destroyed. So I just want to open them up and show you what's inside. And to do that, I'm going to use a drill bit that I use from Bad Dog Tools, and I'm going to just drill right through the heads of those things. Aha! Aha! There's a hidden screw. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I scratched it. Look at that. You can see the camera. So anyway, this is the magic disc that holds all of your data. So, I'm going to destroy it. Now, there's probably a variety of ways to do this. I may just have some fun with it because, you know, I'm good at destroying things. Whoops, sorry. Kicked the camera there. But basically, this thing's pretty tough. I mean, you can look at that. I'm just bending it, you know. But that's not destroying it. I have an idea. The Bad Dog Diamond Wheel. Let's see what happens. That's some pretty tough stuff, I'll say that. You know what? There's two discs. I thought there was one. There's two. That's no good. I was just going to destroy the face, but it's on both sides. Uh-oh. Better call out the big guns. All right. I don't think anybody's going to get any information off of these anymore. Plasma cutter does a job. Pieces. So now I just have to do the other one. Maybe I won't go so far as to take the cover off. I'll just go straight for the kill. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Hey! All right, so I will admit that using a plasma cutter was probably the most extreme way that I could mutilate these hard drives. There are other ways to do it, I'm sure. I did zero research, to be honest. Why? Because I have a plasma cutter. I don't care what the other processes are. I like playing with the plasma cutter and destroying things, and I must say, it did a heck of a job. Little tiny pieces of information gone forever. Hey, you know, you can't be too safe these days. People are finding all kinds of ways to steal your information and your data and whatever. So why not? I'll make sure that doesn't happen. But anyway, on a side note, I want to point out, you know, I'm trying to recycle this stuff because I don't want it to end up in a landfill. And to that end, my wife and I have been making a concerted effort to eliminate as much trash going into the dump as we can. We do pay for a service. We do have, you know, a truck come by once a week and pick up our trash bag and stuff like our trash can and stuff like that. But I found out that our local dump will take separated steel, like soup cans or dog food cans or anything like that. They'll take laundry detergent bottles. They'll take plastic if it's recyclable, and cardboard, magazines, newspapers. What else was there? A variety of things. So we kind of come up with our own little system, I guess. We have a big heavy trash bag that's hung on the back of a chair that's out in our sunroom that we don't use that often. And that bag just sits there, and the tabs are kind of hooked onto the backing of the chair. And so we clean out, we feed our dogs wet dog food twice a day. Usually it ends up being between the three of them, maybe 1 to 2 cans end up in the trash. Well, you can do the math on that. 365 days of a year, that's 730 some cans, right? So, yeah, 320, 360, 720, yeah, 730. So 730 cans that go into the dump. Add to that all the variety of canned foods that we've eaten. You know, it could be tuna, could be a can of peas, a can of baked beans, a can of whatever. So we recycled probably in the last year, I would say well over, I guarantee over 1,000 cans that didn't go into the dump. And along with that, I know I've recycled probably several hundred cardboard boxes. And it's just a matter of breaking them down and getting them, compacted into a bigger box or whatever, than taking them to the dump. And along with that, any of our plastic bags or packaging that could be recycled ended up going back to the dump in that same location. Same way, like I said, any kind of squeeze bottle, as long as it had a recycling tab on the bottom of it or on the side or whatever. Now some of those, it's going to call out and say, look, I think I had some ice brewed coffee. I don't remember the name. It comes in kind of a rounded bottle, and it has a plastic sleeve on it. So it's a plastic bottle with a plastic sleeve, and that way it's a clear bottle with this plastic sleeve. So it says right on there, unzip to remove to recycle. And it's just a matter of peeling it off. Now, all the cans, we pulled all the paper wrapping off, we rinsed them out, all that sort of thing. It takes a little bit of work. But if we can do more of this as a society, reduce the amount of trash going into the dump, recycle what we can, it benefits everybody. Steel is the most recycled material on the planet, I believe. There's other countries that buy our buying our scrap or our junk so they can make things in their country from metal that we've passed along. But anyway, I'm just hoping that maybe, if you get a chance, you can take a look at some of the packaging you're throwing away and find a way to get it into the proper recycling mode. Now, our particular dump does not take glass for some reason, but any kind of plastic. And the other thing too, I've recently started, we had a new Del Taco come into our little town, and I happened to be there for their grand opening. So they ended up giving away 100 coupons or something where you get 2 free tacos a week for a year. Okay, so I go and I get my 2 free tacos, and I buy a large drink, usually an unsweet tea. Just me. But I've noticed that Del Taco, their cups now are recyclable. It says it right on the bottom. The lid is recyclable. I can only assume, I don't know for sure about the straws, but I assume they are too. Other companies don't do that. So I just, little endorsement for Del Taco on that side where they're doing their part to recycle stuff. But that's all. Just saying. If you can, do it. If you can't, well, life goes on. Anyway, so again, pretty extreme using a plasma cutter to destroy a hard drive. Do some research out there. I've heard you can use vinegar. I've heard people saying smash them with a hammer. This is more entertaining, at least from my standpoint, because I love playing with the plasma cutter. So anyway, do some research, see what satisfies your need, and go from there. But that's it for this video. I hope you found maybe some good information, maybe some entertainment, maybe something. And if you did, hey, throw a thumbs up on there. Subscribe if you haven't. Share all those cool things. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this video. No negativity, please. I know most people aren't going to use a plasma cutter. So anyway, that'll be it. And who knows what I'll do next. I know I have 2 videos I have to edit. One is the unboxing of my TIG welder, my Vulcan 165, and then another video where I actually hook it up and do a little bit of welding with it. So I have to get those edited and get those on the channel, but they'll be coming soon. And that's it. So until next time, take care of yourselves. I was looking around the house the other day and I couldn't realize, That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all I got.